welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and today I'm walking you through my foundation and concealer collection. I just got done filming my intro for my Project Pan 2019, and in that video I talked about how you don't really need a lot of liquid products for your collection, and I've really downsized mine over the past 6 months. So with this smaller collection that I have, I figured I'd show you what I have, why I like it, why you may like it, what works for me. Let me know down below if you would like more of these makeup stash videos. I don't know how they really would go over. So maybe if you're around my skin tone, this would help you. If you're looking for a new foundation, new concealer, maybe this would help you out. So if you would like to see into my foundation and concealer collection, just keep watching. Believe it or not, guys, I only have 3 foundations. For the longest time, I'm talking years, the only foundation that I would put on my face was the Maybelline Matte and Poreless. I had this in the shade 128 Warm Nude. I had it in the shade 220, which I have right now, Natural Beige. I had it in shade 228, which is, I think, Soft Tan. This foundation is for normal to oily skin, but I do have some friends who have dry skin who like this foundation. It's not too heavy. This is a shade 220. It's not too heavy on the skin. It's just not too much. It's just like that perfect foundation that you can wear to work. It's also a great mixer foundation. It doesn't break up during the day. It lasts an extremely long time on my skin. Me, Maybelline Matte and Poreless is kind of just like old reliable. The only drawback of it is that it doesn't have a pump, but I have bought pumps for it in the past. It's old reliable. You can mix it with foundations if like the skin tones are right. I'm not exactly sure how many shades they have in it now. I do know they have expanded the shade range over the years, but if you have never tried the Maybelline Matte and Poreless, I think this foundation is like $5. It's beautiful for dry skin, for oily skin, for normal skin. And when they say poreless, they mean poreless. I also really like the powder from this line, like the Maybelline Matte and Poreless powder. I have it in the same shade 220. This foundation is just, it's beautiful. It's really good. The current shade I have is 220, which I can get away with concealer and everything. But like I said, if I'm like super pale, it's like 128. But if I'm tan, it's 228 Soft Tan. Alright, while we're on drugstore foundations, this is my other favorite drugstore foundation. I've gone through so many bottles of this. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. I have this shade 105 Natural Beige. The reason why I have 105 is I use it with my NARS foundation. Usually by itself I am just in the shade 104. This says medium coverage, but if you use a brush you can definitely get this to full coverage. This is a true medium coverage foundation, but this you can build to full coverage. That's what I love about the foundations that I own, is you can't really feel them on your skin. They just, at the end of the day, like, you know how people say like, oh, I can't wait to get this makeup off. Sure, we all have days like that, but I never really have days where like I feel makeup on my skin throughout the entire day. You will see that all 3 of the foundations I have do range in colors slightly, but that's because a lot of the times I mix them together. That's 105 right there. You can see that 220 is a little bit darker than 105, but that's just, like I said, I use them to mix. Plus, I never really found like a perfect foundation shade for me. I don't really know if anyone ever has, to be honest. My other and only high-end foundation I have, I will tell you guys, this was the first high-end foundation I bought in maybe like 2 years. I remember the last one that I had bought was the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation. That was the foundation I was using when I first started my channel in April 2017. I loved that foundation, but it just, I don't know, it oxidized, and the coverage got weird, and I thought towards the end it was breaking me out. And then I tried the Tarte, like the full coverage one, and I've tried a couple other high-end foundations and I've returned them, but this was the only one that is just tried and true to me. So it is called the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I don't find that this is too matte. I find that on its own it's beautiful. I find that mixed with this is like the ideal combination if you want your makeup to last like 10 hours. So I have the shade Medium 2 Santa Fe. This does have a pump. You can see it is a little bit lighter than the other 2 foundations I have right here, and the L'Oreal Infallible is oxidizing a smidge, but I bought this in a lighter shade on purpose so that I could mix with these. I love the NARS Radiant Longwear Foundation. Right now I'm trying out the Sheer Glow because I do have a lot of Ulta points and I was considering buying the Sheer Glow. I still don't know if I'm going to because I feel like this color matches me really well. Like, I feel like it looks good. But you know, with foundations, they look good for the first like hour, and then 4 hours in, your nose is separated and stuff like that. This lasts beautifully. I have friends who have dry skin, normal skin, oily skin, who this is great on. I will say though, in the summer, if you have like a really oily skin, this can break up. But if you set it with a powder and you set it with setting spray, you should be good. But that's the majority of the time why I put it in a drop of this, only because mixed together it's just a perfect combination. So those are my only foundations that I own. Now let's get to concealers. First concealer that I own, I actually own 2 shades of. This is the Born This Way Multi-Use Shaping Concealer by Too Faced. This is a beautiful concealer. You see how big these are? I've talked about these before. So the shades I have are Natural Beige, which this shade is pretty much the shade of my face. And I will use this for blemishes, or if I have a lot of discoloration, I use it for my inner corners. And then the other shade I have right here is Nude. I do really like this concealer, but this, like a lot of the concealers I own, if you use too much, your under eyes will look dry and crepey. I highly recommend this concealer if Shape Tape was a little bit too drying for you. I do see that this is a little less drying than Shape Tape, but like Shape Tape, you need to work quickly with it. You need to blend it as much as you can and then set it as quickly as you can. You can use this to conceal, to contour, highlight, retouch. This is just a whole all-in-one concealer. I would eventually like to get a shade in this that I can like contour with. These were shades that Nicole had given me. I might, if I ever run out of this, want to get the shade Light Beige, but they work for me now. Alright, so while I was talking about Shape Tape, this is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I have gone through 4-5 tubes of this since it first came out. I was originally using the shade Light Medium, but now I am so excited because I always found that that was just like not yellow enough for me. Now I use the shade Light Medium Sand. And like my foundations, you can see my concealers are like pretty much all different colors. This one is definitely a really yellow. I find that neither of the ones that I have in the Too Faced concealers are yellow enough for me. That's really why I mix them and stuff like that. But Shape Tape is a concealer that you cannot use too much of. Like literally like 2 dots, you're good. You have a pimple, you put Shape Tape. You need to blend it out as best you can. If you use too much under your eyes, it can look very crepey, can make your eyes look really dry. But I love that concealer. And this is definitely a concealer that if you take the stopper out, because it is such a big doe foot applicator, you need to take the stopper out when you think you're out of product, but no, there's so much more in there. I do have one color corrector I want to talk about real quick. This is in the Smashbox color corrector stick. This is in Look Less Tired Dark. I don't use this as much as I used to, but this is an amazing color corrector. I do have really bad dark circles under my eyes. I never did the color correcting, like the green and the purple, the yellow and all that stuff. No, I never did that. But I did get this, and I use this on the days that my eyes are just at its worst. And with Shape Tape, it doesn't show through orange. I did find that like with certain concealers, especially the Maybelline Fit Me, you can see the orange throughout it. I don't own Maybelline Fit Me anymore because I found that it was just too light coverage. It didn't cover up what I needed it to. But if you're looking for a good color corrector, this is definitely a really good one. Alright, so this is the Jouer concealer. This is the Essential High Cream Liquid Concealer. I have the shade Creme Cafe. Again, a very big doe foot. This is a little bit lighter than the other concealers I have because I find that this is the concealer that I wear when I don't really wear that much makeup at all. Like maybe if I can go without foundation, I can just put this under my eyes, blend it out. Again, like my other concealers, I'm a repeating horse. You do not have to use a lot of this. This has the capability of looking dry. This has the capability of looking crepey, but that's also kind of why I love them so much, because they're high coverage concealers. You won't really find any high coverage concealers that are extremely thin. So I envy you if you don't have to use high coverage concealers, because I do. I do really like this concealer. I do highly recommend it. Nicole does have a code for Jouer. It's YWP15. Also, their shade range is incredible. The foundation didn't work out for me, but that has 50 shades. I don't know how many shades the concealer has, but I want to say at least 25. This is definitely the newest concealer to my collection. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Liquid Concealer. I have it in the shade 5 Medium. I would definitely say shade-wise, it is the most comparable to my light medium sand in Shape Tape. This is a beautiful concealer. This is my thinnest full coverage concealer, but it is still pretty thick. You do not need a lot of this concealer at all, which is good because it's very expensive and there's only 0.111 worth of product in here. The only downfall for this is the applicator. It does kind of get a little messy. It's kind of like the, where's my mom's? This is my mom's Maybelline Age Rewind. It's kind of like the Maybelline Age Rewind where it gets all funky. Again, this is a great drugstore concealer. I just feel that the shade range doesn't really match me. But yes, I love this concealer. If you're looking for a new concealer that you have trouble with your under eyes looking dry, I don't think that this makes you look dry. I think that this is a beautiful set. I don't wear concealers that I don't set. I always set my face with powder. I always set my concealers with powder. So if you're looking for someone who doesn't really set, well, it's not me. But I love this concealer so much. And the good thing about this too is you can see how much is in here. There's no stopper. You won't have to take the stopper out, but it just rises up. It's a really, really good concealer. All right, and my last one. So this is definitely like, I don't even know if I would call this a concealer. This is just like a highlight, really. This is the YSL 2 shade. I'm not really sure how to say it properly, but this is in the shade 2.5. It's one of those click pens. And I literally just use this to thin out other concealers. Like if I maybe use too much Shape Tape or too much of the Jouer concealer, I'll use a little bit of this just to highlight under my eyes or in between my eyebrows and my chin. 9 times out of 10 that I use that is what I use it for, because if you put like Shape Tape between your eyes sometimes for me and on my chin, it just looks too much depending on what foundation I'm using and stuff like that. So this is what I like to use to highlight my face. Alrighty everyone, so that was a look into my foundation and concealer collection. Let me know if you like these makeup stash videos. I can do blushes, that'll be an hour-long video. I can do bronzers, that'll be an hour-long video, but I can do primers, I can do setting sprays, maybe face powders. Down below and let me know what are your favorite foundations and concealers. I love like medium to full coverage. I love anything with a good strong yellow undertone. Let me know down below. I don't like L'Oreal True Match. I recently just decluttered that. I do have a couple foundation declutters on my channel as well if you'd like to check them out. So yeah, let me know down below. And remember, you was kind, you was smart, you was important. Have a great day everyone. Bye!